Philippines, good evening. May gabi sa Tibok Luzon, Visayas, Mindanao, up to Sabah. Sa uban nato mga langyaw nga mga bisita o turista nga kung asa mo parte mo sa Pilipinas nga nagtanaw sa atong programa. Naimbag na rabi, masanto si Sulabit si kayo amin. Maya pa bengi keka marahay na banggi sa Indogabos. Mayad-mayad nga gabi. Maupay nga gabi. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi taala wabarakatuh. Ito po ay inyong programang Republika. Ako si Eric Espina. Sa gabing ito po, tonight, we're going to be focusing on a public service in order for the public to be able to get to know who are these people behind the 53rd Engineer Brigade of the Philippine Army. It's very interesting to note that they're in fact coming up with an all-women construction team. But before we go into the details as to what are the real functions, peacetime and wartime, as well as their current activities and accomplishments, of course, we have to meet their commanding officer, which I'm very proud to introduce to you, is a lady officer. We have none other than Colonel Jocelyn Rehis Bandar Lipe, Civil Engineer, GSC, Philippine Army. Good evening, Colonel.
Good evening, Sir Eric.
Yes.
Thank you very much for this time given to us to speak about the accomplishment of the 53rd Engineer Brigade and also some of our plans and programs, future programs at that. So thank you very much, Sir Eric.
More importantly, I think the people are more interested to get to know who is Colonel Jocelyn Bandar Lipe. And you're a civil engineer.
Yes, sir.
How did you end up joining the service? You know, these are important aspects of featuring what is your background. How did you start? Did you really want to join the Philippine Army?
I was partly influenced because my father is a soldier, and my relatives, most of them, especially my aunts. I also have a cousin who is also in the military then, before I started the service. And because I was influenced, I had this interest in me to join the military. I am a member of the Officer Candidate School, Class 4-90, and I graduated from that school in 1990 as a second lieutenant. I was given this AFOS, which is the occupational skill, MOS in the military term, engineers, because I'm a graduate of civil engineering. And now, because of my education, training, and my exposure to the different assignments since 1990 to the present, now I'm given this opportunity to be the, as they said, first female engineer brigade of the Philippine Army Major Unit, sir.
Yep. Did you graduate first as a civil engineer and then join the service?
I graduated first because it was one of the minimum requirements to enter the officer candidate school, to be a graduate of any baccalaureate degree. In our case, I was a graduate of civil engineering, sir.
But previous to this, you already had it in your mind that I'm going to join
Yes,
the
sir.
Philippine Army.
Yes, sir. Actually, the first time that when I was in high school, I was my aunt was trying to convince me to enroll in nursing because she was a military nurse. She was a military nurse, so she said na if interesado ba ako mag-nurse, so para ipasok kita sa military nurse. Sabi naman ng tatay ko, sundalo ko, sige, pumasok ka.
And your father, let's give credit to your father.
Yes, sir.
What's the name of your father?
My father is the late CPO,
Okay.
Chief Petty Officer Marcelo Corbes Rehis from Abuyog, Leyte.
And a Navy siya, no?
He's a Navy, sir.
Oh, how come you did not join the Navy?
But before I entered the officer candidate school, since the point of entry then was the Women Auxiliary Corps, sir,
Yes.
mahigpit ang laban nun. So we entered first as candidate soldier. So that was in 1988. So I had the opportunity to be trained as candidate soldier under enlisted women basic course of the Philippine Navy. I had a training at Tanay, then another training at NTC, Naval Training Center.
Yes.
Then, hindi na ngayon nag-exist yun. Nasa iba Sambales na yata sa NTC. So, another training. Then, here comes the opportunity to join the first batch of regular officers for female to join the officer candidate school. That was the first time, sir, na inalaw kami na mag-join immediately from training to, but of course we had to pass through rigorous qualification procedure before we were qualified to officer candidate school. So the point of entry then was the Women Auxiliary Corps.
Why did you take up civil engineering? I mean, there are other 4-year baccalaureate courses. Nursing could be one.
Yes, sir.
Oh.
But siguro it was more of the opportunity that was presented to me, because when I graduated from high school, I had this application for scholarship under GSIS, and they only offer technical courses, and one of them is engineering. And I noticed when I was in high school also, sir, ang aptitude ko sa figures, sa math, mataas. Mataas siya. Even in NCEE. Meron pong NCEE noon, sir, eh.
Yes,
Oo.
I remember that.
And among the, yung mga subjects, it was in mathematics that I got high score. Even when I was applying for officer candidate school, sir, lahat ng mga palagay ko, pag magaling ka, hindi naman magaling, no? Pag may aptitude ka sa figures or mathematics, parang madali mong ipasa yung exam.
You could have gotten into accounting. Or mathematics major.
Because of that scholarship, sir, of under GSIS. And
How
they
many
offered
brothers and sisters are you in the family?
I have we are 2 na babae and another 2 brothers. So apat kami sa family, sir.
Aside from you, nobody else entered the service?
Wala, sir, wala.
Ikaw
Except
lang
my
talaga?
father. Ako lang, sir. I have a brother na pumasok pero hindi siya nagtagal. He left the service immediately. Kasi iba yata ang gusto niya, business ng konti.
But your father saw you become an officer.
Yes, sir. I think
He must have been very proud to see you.
kung buhay lang siya ngayon, sir, I'm sure he is proud of me now. Kasi unang-una, hindi niya siguro ini-expect na yung anak niyang babae ay mauupo sa ganitong position, sir.
At posible pag maging general, no?
I look forward to that, sir.
Diba? The first one, no?
Yes,
You'll be
sir.
the first one sa engineering ba?
Sa engineering, sir, I am the first, being the most senior officer now, and given this opportunity to sit in an 07 position,
Yes.
I will be the first one if that would be given to me.
If you don't mind my asking, your mother is also still alive?
My mother is alive, sir.
Still alive.
He's still alive.
In short, your father might have passed away, but your mother's presence,
Ayun ang aking
ayun
prayer
ka nga,
warrior.
nakikita ng ama mo sa mata ng ina mo ang
Opo, sir. Yes,
pag-asenso sa buhay.
Yes, sir.
Through the eyes of your mother,
Yes, sir.
di ba? Your father
Yes, sir.
can see you. Ganun ang...
Yes, sir.
Okay. So, how was... I mean, did you expect military life to be as easy or did your father prepare you?
My father was an enlisted personnel, and I ended up an officer. He could only give me advices as to how it would be in the military since it's a male-dominated
Yes.
profession. At first, he was parang reluctant, sir, for me to, although he pushed me, parang sir, magkaiba, ironic. He pushed me and yet he was reluctant for me to be joining like airborne course.
Yes.
Kaya meron niyang panahon nun, sir, na nag-airborne ako, maya-maya, may bisita pala ako, ang tatay ko. And during that time, hindi pa kami allowed na bisitahin. So, yung mga ganon na parang he was afraid na yung anak ko babae and yet he's being trained dun sa mga rigorous training like airborne. Sir.
You're aside from being an officer, you have a family.
I have a family now.
How
Yes,
many
sir.
children?
I have 3. I married late because of my profession, sir. Very
Okay.
interesting.
How late is late?
I married in 2011.
Okay.
I was parang too late to be, I think by age, too late to be married at that time because I was already a lieutenant colonel then.
How young were you then as a lieutenant
I was
colonel?
44.
Okay.
Yes, I was 44.
Ah, okay.
Then,
Did you get married to a serviceman also? No. Civilian?
A civilian. He's
Okay.
also an engineer by
Engineering.
profession.
Okay.
Yes, sir. He's also an engineer by profession.
And you met through the course of the profession, or how was it?
He happens to have a project
Okay.
in Aguinaldo, but I did not meet him prior to our first meeting, sir. Kahit pa sabihin mo na he was working with engineers because he has projects in the Philippine Army, in the AFP. But I did not meet him before that first engagement or meeting. Tapos, only then, after that first meeting, siya nag-set up for us to have another meeting through a friend. Through a friend. Kaya, nasundan yung meeting until he pursue me, then...
Everything
in
is
short,
history.
Everything is history after that, sir.
Does he understand the job that you're in, your responsibilities?
Because he is a widower, sir.
Okay.
And his first wife is also a military nurse.
Okay.
So he could adjust to the kind of career that I have now. So naiintindihan niya. Siya pa nga minsan yung nasasabi, sige, samahan mo yan, punta ka doon. Basta mag-a-adjust lang tayo, akong pupunta sa'yo madalas.
Where are you from, Leyte? Exactly.
I grew up in Tacloban City, sir, but
Tacloban.
my parents, specifically my father is from Abuyog, Leyte.
Aha.
So, waray kami, sir.
All your clan members or family members are all in Leyte?
Leyte, sir. Leyte. Except, of course, sa mother's side. He's from
Okay.
Nueva Ecija.
Nueva Ecija.
Nueva Ecija, sir. Pero, by virtue of marriage, parang waray na rin siya because my father brought her to Leyte also to live there.
Your brothers and sisters, they're all married, they have their own
They are
children,
married, yes, sir.
different professions.
Different professions, except for one. He's unmarried until this time. He's the one taking good care of my mother.
Mother. Oh. And how young is your mother?
My mother now is 1942, 78.
78 years old.
Yeah, yes, 78.
At Manila or Leyte?
My mother now is living in Cavite.
Ah, in Cavite.
Oo, Cavite.
Okay. And then your family is also where?
Taguig.
Taguig. Okay. Oh, that's nice. What's the name of your husband? Para naman.
Robert, sir.
Rob-
Roberto Vanderlipe.
Okay. Okay. So this is very interesting. What assignments were you, I mean, from what units and what assignments did you undergo?
Ang dami na, sir. Pero the most significant was prior to my assignment as the brigade commander of the 53rd Engineer Brigade. I was the deputy commander of the 52nd Engineer Brigade based at Bukidnon. But before that, I was the Army Chief of Engineer. Sabi nila first time diyan na magkaroon ng Army Chief of Engineer. Army Chief Engineer, which is staff of the Commanding General of Philippine Army in terms of engineering matters.
So Bukidnon, how long were you in Bukidnon?
8 months.
8 months din, ha? Very maganda ang Bukidnon. I've been there.
Sir,
Oo.
have you been to 52nd, sir?
Hindi,
Ang weather doon.
Hindi ako nakapunta sa 52nd. Ang napuntahan ko doon because pareho kasi yung eskwelahan na I graduated also in San Beda College like the president. So there is a monastery there in Bukidnon, Malaybalay. Malaybalay, Bukidnon.
Malay-balay.
Oo.
There, sir.
Oo.
I tried to visit that once
That's
before I reported to 53rd.
Oo, that's a monastery there, Benedictine monks. And nakita mo ba yung simbahan doon?
Opo, sir.
Ang ganda ng simbahan, ha? Oh, ang ganda. Very interestingly, that was the last unfinished project of Leandro Locsin, architect Leandro Locsin. And you can understand that being also party, you like building things. Who built the Cultural Center of the Philippines? So, ganun ka-importante yun. Anyway, we're going to pause for a few reminders and we'll get back to Colonel Jocelyn Reyes Bandarlipe and we'll get to know about the brigade, more of her life, and of course, later on, we'll invite the other officers when Republika returns. Okay, nagbabalik po ang ating programang Republika. Kausap pa rin po natin si Colonel Jocelyn Reyes Bandarlipe. Siya po isang civil engineer, GSC Philippine Army. At pag sunwerte po, siya po ay isa sa mga magiging pangunahin general sa Philippine Army na babae. So, anyway, So, Colonel, no? So you were in Bukidnon for 8 months. Pero when you were going up the ladder, sa mga areas ang mga na-designate ka?
Yung significant,
significant lang, yes.
assignments until I'm given this position, sir, no? Nung nabigyan ako ng pagkakataon na maging company commander also. And that was in Northern Luzon.
Okay.
I was assigned in one of the areas in the northern part, which is Ifugao.
Okay.
So, yan yung sa 530th Engineer Construction Battalion. Na-assign din ako, sir, sa Visayas prior to my second coming to 53rd Engineer Brigade as Brigade Commander. I was the battalion commander of the 546th Engineer Construction, then based at Eastern Samar. Yun, sir. Then, again, I was installed for the second time as battalion commander sa 514 Engineer Construction Battalion based at Nasugbu, Batangas.
Looking back, what areas did you find challenging?
Samar.
Because, para lang alam ng tao.
For one, we are contending, of course, with insurgency problem in the area. Alam naman natin ang Samar. And also because my area of operation as the battalion commander of the 514 is eastern, western, and the whole island of Leyte. Yung pag-travel pa lang, pag-respond to any activities ng 546, malaki na ang kagad ng kinokontent mo. Plus, of course, the fact na hindi may security concerns yung area, sir.
Generally speaking, no, before we go into the 53rd, what does basically an engineering battalion or brigade do? And how important is that in terms of government programs in a particular province, in a particular area?
Ang military engineers, sir, military engineers have 3-tier functions or mandate. One is it provides engineer support to Philippine Army units in terms of combat support, in terms of providing engineer support or construction. Then it also contributes to the socio-economic development of the government. So meron tayong mga proyekto na initiated by the government na ibinibigay sa Armed Forces of the Philippines. Kung ito ay development projects, infrastructure, binibigay ngayon to sa engineers para i-implement, especially those projects that are situated or located at high-risk security areas. Pangatlo, sir, we are also in support to CENTCOM in providing humanitarian assistance and disaster response, especially dun sa affected areas. So, with these 3 mandates, we are trained to be effective in providing this capabilities.
Are you know, some people might think they hear engineering, no? They might think you're not high risk because you're doing, in that sense, non-combative roles, but are you also at high risk? Well, you know, you're there,
Yes, sir.
you're being asked to, let's say, build additional comfort rooms as
Yes,
part
sir.
of socio-economic development, no? Pati kayo ba sa Tagalog pa pinapatulan din ng ng mga komunista?
Yes, sir, hindi walang pinapatawad din ng komunista.
Walang pinapatawad.
Kaya lang, pagdating sa area, sir, we have the populace that help us they shield us for the probable attack by the communists because we're doing this developmental projects, school building, health centers, mga electrification. And sometimes
Yung comfort room hindi na.
we do also comfort
comfort
rooms, part of
rooms.
the
Yes,
the big infra
yes.
components. Mabalik tayo dun, sir, sa tanong ninyo na hindi ba rin ba kayo ina-attack? As engineer, sir, we're a combat support unit, but we perform infantry units as exigency of the service so requires. Pag kailangan namin proteksyonan ng sarili namin, we do so.
Yes,
Kasi karamihan po ng projects ng mga engineers ay nasa far-flung areas. Although one of the mandate of the maneuver units, which is the infantry, is to secure us while we are performing the developments or the infra projects. there are situations that we need to protect ourselves kasi sundalo din po kami.
Yes, of course. Oo.
And we have to be prepared to be infantrymen
Oo.
if the situation so requires, sir.
Aha, aha.
Kasi ang mga project namin nasa far-flung, ito yung mga proyekto na hindi kayang abutin ng mga civilian contractors natin na hindi natatapos dahil nga po sa insurgency problem.
Ang mahirap diyan kung let's say the hard part there is you know you have a project that you have to undertake. It will take what? How many weeks or months?
Yung mga ito po yung nakakatuwa doon dahil yung mga high impact projects po natin normally we could finish that in 45 days as much as possible, sir. But there are projects na tumatagal ang mga tao more than 3 months or even more than 1 year because of not of the insurgency problem but because of the availability of the materials. And sometimes these materials are being brought to the area by the suppliers which are the civilians, civilians. So yung availability ng materials could also be a major factor for us to complete the projects. Pero yung mga high impact projects na school buildings and everything, especially meron tayong ginawa po nito dati yung Kalayaan sa Barangays program. Okay. Yung mga health centers, electrification, water system, we also have the school buildings. We try to finish that within not more than 2 months. Okay. Kasi ayaw din naman natin na naka-expose masyado yung ating mga sundalo sa area.
Which leads me to that question exactly. You are there for 45 days, 2 months. You're highly exposed.
Yes, sir. That's it.
Kasi nandyan lang kayo eh.
Yes, sir.
So alam nila kung saan ka hanapin.
Yes, sir.
So how does that go? Have there been situations where the project itself ends up being disturbed, being attacked?
Before we enter into a project here, this is in coordination with the maneuver units, the infantry units. So at first pa lang before we move to the area, nandyan sila to protect. Because mostly, kung dating sa internal security operations, so it should be a cleared area. And to sustain the development of the areas, papasok tayo, magkakaroon ng delivery of basic services by the government. Like for example, tatayo natin ng school building. Nandoon sila to protect us. So, yung mga tao sa paligid, that clear na yun, yung mga tao sa paligid, they know that not exactly us, but the project should be protected. Matapos siya para sa community. And yung mga maneuver units natin, nandiyan din to provide support para matapos, and they provide us security in that matter. If the situation, sir, requires us to act as infantry, we ourselves are also prepared to protect
Nabanggit mo yung Leyte, no? You know, we had that big disaster there.
Yes,
Na-deploy ba kayo doon?
Yes, sir. That was in St. Bernard, landslide, the mudslide. 1,500 deaths ang nasa toll niya, nasa record, sir, no? It happened that I was the battalion commander of the 546th Engineering Construction Battalion then we were one of the units. One of the units that called upon to respond doon sa area. Nasa kami, sir, nasa Samar kami, Eastern Samar. We moved our men up to Southern Leyte to respond in the area. Naalala ko noon, nung time na yon, lahat ng balikatan na activities sa sinuspend para lahat maka-respond doon sa area. We were there during that time, sir.
When you talk about an engineering brigade or an engineering battalion, just for purposes so that our audience can understand, you will need certain equipments, certain assets, no, certain logistical support. What is supposed to be part of your TONE and equipment is supposed to be sa
we have this so-called mission essential engineering equipment, sir. Mission essential engineering equipment that could respond to requirement for construction. And then second, mission essential engineering equipment that could respond for disaster response requirement. We also have equipment that could respond for siguro yung minimum base development projects, base development instruments. Ito yung mga minimum requirements, and these are bulldozer.
Yan gusto madinig ng mga tao yan. Bulldozer,
yan. We have backhoe. We have loader.
Aha.
Meron din tayong, kung para sa kalsada, meron din po tayong road roller. And right now, sir, ang ating leadership, the Philippine Army, the AFP, the Philippine Army has given priority to engineers. Lalo na't lumaki kami ngayon. We are now up to 55th Engineer Brigade for the Philippine Army alone. So, nagprograma at nag-procure ng mga mission essential engineer equipment na pinadala sa mga different engineer units. Higit lalo na meron tayong rehabilitation task doon sa area ng Marawi. And when we talk of rehabilitation, we have to have this mission essential engineer equipment, sir. Yes,
Now, I will ask you, no, being a woman commander, you came up with an all-women construction team.
Yes, sir.
So, pakibanggit lang kung ano itong first all-female vertical construction team sa Visayas to provide general engineering support.
General engineering support. Actually, sir, the situation came up that led me to decide that bakit hindi tayo mag-form ng all-women construction team. So, magkakaroon kami ngayon ng anniversary 54th. We will start it with a competition. But before the competition itself, magkakaroon ng training. This is first to motivate our female soldiers. Kasi po ito, sir, ng mga female soldiers natin, from the start, bago sila pumasok sa serbisyo, they have this signified skill. May kanya-kanyang skill. May graduate dyan, meron dyang 2-year course, meron dyang may technical skill like welding, meron silang ganyan. But because the key here is versatility. Dahil anytime if the situation requires that you have to augment a team, hindi tayo mamimili dito. We're not talking of gender. We're talking of capability already. So yung formation of all female vertical teams just a venue para i-motivate sila. Iti-train sila together, sir. Kasi ang training natin for one-man team is we will first concentrate with carpentry.
Okay.
Carpentry.
Okay. Yan,
Then
malinaw.
carpentry
Okay.
muna. Then, we will go to welding. But of course, sir, hindi naman yan yung pag-trainin mo na sila magaling na kaagad sila sa carpentry. We will check at the end of the training saan sila magaling. Then, after knowing their skills, which is an additional skill of what they have already.
As soldiers.
Yes, sir, as soldiers. When there is a need, for example, that they have to be deployed together with men, i-immerse sila sa team ng vertical construction team with a specific skill na earn na. Kaya itong all-female, they will be trained as vertical team, then they will be tested through a competition.
Pero kaya ba nila na sila lang, walang lalaki sa team?
Sa
That's the
ngayon, sir,
objective?
sa ngayon, sir, we already tested that because during the Brigada Eskwela, it's a short-term activity and it needs mga painting, tapos pako-pako, tapos they can do that. Short terms, eh. But if the project requires, siguro, it will require more than a month and then malaki in terms of cost, we have to augment this vertical team with male also. Kasi practically, kailangan pa rin natin ng...
But this is your idea, no?
Yes, sir.
First lang ito dito sa Visayas, di ba?
That is the first time, sir.
And because of you thought of this. Sa
We-
ibang
we-
mga units, wala pa ito.
Wala pa, sir. Kung hindi ako nagkakamali, wala pa naman, sir.
Oh, so
Wala
you're
pa.
the one launching this for the
Yes,
first
we were
time here in the
launching
Visayas.
this. And surprisingly, sir, itong grupo ng mga female, they are interested. Hindi ito yung, ba't ako magiging, graduate ako? But because they know that dapat sa military, you can be deployed anywhere. You can be assigned with any task.
Multitasking ka dyan.
Multitasking tayo ngayon, sir.
Okay.
And they can do everything, anything, if they are ordered, sir.
Okay, we're going to pause for a few reminders. When we come back, we'll bring in the other officers of the 53rd Engineering Brigade and we'll talk about all their accomplishments and their mission when Republika returns. Okay, nagbabalik po ating programang Republika at nadagdagan po ang ating mga panauhin sa gabing ito. We are joined by two other officers. They're both, of course, civil engineers. We have to the left of Colonel Bandarlipe is Lieutenant Colonel Diomedes Balino. He is the operations officer. And we also are joined by Major Jonathan B. Esnara, who is the spokesperson and the CMO officer. So, good evening. Welcome to the program.
Good evening, Sir Eric.
Yes, welcome. This one I will ask of both of you. Of course, I already know the answers, but I think your commanding officer would like to hear it. How does it feel to have a to have a lady commander over the 53rd Engineering Brigade?
Oh, Sir Eric, at first time namin, no, to have a lady PAMO officer, in which the person of our commander, Colonel Jocelyn Bandarlipe. At first, nung una namin malaman na siya na yung pupunta sa amin as being our commander, but si ma'am, I know her already because we worked before at the general headquarters. So practically, kumbaga, we have already an acquaintance with her before. We worked together before in the GHQ, and then during that time, I know the fact that Colonel Bandarlipe will climb the ladder later on. And fortunately right now, nagkasama kami dito and then nagka-work ulit. So with that, yung nakikita ko sa kanya before, nandito na siya, and then ito na nga yun, then work to her again at this time. And of course, me as her operation officer. So it's not already, kumbaga hindi na, kumbaga, much surprise for me. So, yun, nakikita namin kay ma'am na yung kanyang leadership na pinapakita at this time, at this moment. We are tracking on our support with the Philippine Army based on our mission and the engineering support for the Philippine Army in terms of socio-economic development.
Si Kwa naman, si Major Esnara, you were quoted as saying that the inclusion of women in the Philippine Army is indeed a historic and significant milestone in women empowerment. High moral naman yung mga tao natin because now they have first time, no? Lady commanding officer. So, what is the voice on the ground?
Actually, sir, having a female brigade commander is really challenging. Second, also inspiring, especially sa ating mga kasundaluhan ng mga babae. They were motivated and they were inspired to give their best and to supporting the accomplishment of the mission of the 53rd Engineering Brigade in the whole Visayas.
I can imagine the response of the brigade and the mga tao natin, no? We're coming up with the first all-women construction team. Meron tayong mga plumbers. We're hoping to have plumbers, masonry, carpentry, and other construction-related. Hindi siguro naisip ng mga lalaki ito, no? It takes somebody like a lady officer to be able to think of something like this, no? First time ito dito nangyari sa Visayas yata. First time, no? But sa ibang units hindi nagawa ito.
I also take I also take advantage of yung increasing number of the female soldiers now in the Philippine Army, sir. We're now recruiting quite a number of female now. Unlike before that because of the limited number of female, hindi mo kayang magbuo ng isang team. So with this new development, sabi ko bakit hindi? Tingnan natin. Kasi they will be reinforcing resource to come up with a more effective construction team together with men. Hindi naman ito yung ikukumpit natin sa pagalingan. Ito yung magre-reinforce ng kung ano nang meron tayo pagdating sa capabilities.
Are the other brigades going? Are you okay if they copy the 53rd?
That's okay, sir, because sa amin naman, sir, pag sinabi mong lessons learned, we have these lessons learned. If you learn something from the other units, copy the good things, and then pabayaan mo na yung hindi maganda. If they think that this will work for the unit, kung gusto nilang kopyahin, that's flattery.
Most welcome, no?
Most welcome.
Pwedeng bigay yung template, and then
template, yes, sir.
You are the trial.
Yes,
and the best practices ang makukuha pa sa inyo, no? Kasi lessons learned in the process, di ba?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Let's talk about you're going to have an anniversary.
Yes, sir.
Anybody can jump in, pang ilang anniversary na natin ito sa 53rd?
34.
34th.
Yes.
34 years na.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So, what are being planned for the anniversary?
Okay, I will give the floor to my
Sige.
operations
Sorry,
officer.
actually, the brigade anniversary is a week-long anniversary. Actually, it was kick-off yesterday with, and the previous days with the bloodletting activity, tree planting activity. Of course, these activities in support, of course, especially for our communities suffering from dengue. So we donated bloods for them. And of course, for the tree planting activity, for the program of the government, the National Greening Program of the government, and support for that. And yesterday, we also opened the two activities, the scaffolding erection challenge, and of course, yung pinag-uusapan natin kanina na yung vertical construction team, all-female na challenge that we are developing right now to become a cohesive team that will be later on can be a female construction team that we can do all female in a certain constructions. And then of course we have also a command conference that will be held on Monday, and a fun run, and
What will be the conference about?
command conference, of course, it is a traditional that being held before the conference to, of course, to review what have been done by the battalions if they were complied with the guidance of our higher ups.
Yes.
Okay, if I may add, this is not just for the sake of celebrating it. Lalagyan namin ng impact. Like what the staff said, we already kicked off last 15 with the bloodletting activity, and simultaneous yun together with the tree planting. This is in line also of yung directive ng aming Commanding General Philippine Army na we will be one with the government in combating yung increase ng dengue problem as men in uniform. And also, we will be having this competition, as we mentioned a while ago, as we described it a while ago, yung competition nga on scaffolding erection at saka yung all-female vertical construction team. Magkakaroon sila ng
Pakibanggit lang para maintindihan ano yung scaffolding para sa publiko.
Okay.
Sige, scaffolding. What does scaffolding mean? Anong
scaffolding
scaffolding
para sa
competition?
Pilipinas.
Ano yun?
Yung scaffolding competition, sir, ito yung kumbaga when you start to do a construction, of course you have to erect an scaffolding. Ito yung mga tutuntungan ng mga kuan natin, mga construction team natin as the construction progress. Actually,
Unahan sila.
unahan sila. We already have a challenge before that nasinalihan namin in connection collaboration with the Construction Cebu Association, na in which nag-top kami. Kasama po dito yung mga sa MDC and other construction firm na medyo malaki. And then lucky enough, kami po yung naparangalan na nag-champion. And then in connection with our anniversary, gusto namin ito i-perfect down to our battalions. Kumbaga ikakascade namin siya that to enhance their knowledge about this scaffolding activity.
Okay. Does the mission and vision of every brigade, is it different from other brigades?
Pareho lang.
O pareho lang yun
Pareho
talaga?
lang.
Dekaho na
Pareho
yan?
lang. Dekaho na yun sir.
Okay. And basically, more or less, broadly, in broad strokes, what is the mission and the vision? Just doesn't have to be memorized. Just basically, what is the mission and the vision?
The mission of the military engineers is providing engineer support nga, as I mentioned.
Yes.
Engineer support to Army units,
Okay.
specifically for the 53rd Visayas area.
CENTCOM in short.
Yes, we also provide or contribute to national development, yung sabi namin kanina. Contribute to the socio-economic development program of the government. Ito yung mga proyekto na ginagawa natin sa far-flung areas. We also provide assistance
Okay.
In humanitarian operation and disaster response.
Was there a time that the engineering was under, if you recall, the National Development Command?
Yes, sir. There was
There
a
was a
time.
time, no?
We were then under operational control or
Mhm.
operational command
Mhm.
relationship under the National Development Support Command, the
National
DESCOM then.
Development, yeah,
Oo.
Nadiscom, yeah.
That was then catering to national development projects.
Oo.
Tapos sila yung nag-orchestrate
Oo.
and in coordination with the area command. As to vision,
Oh, ano
as
yung
to
vision? Yan ang
naman,
vision,
sir,
yes.
ito yung vision naman ng Army engineers. We follow the overall vision of the AFP translated by the Philippine Army, then now with the engineers.
Mhm.
That is to be a world-class Army engineers. That will be the
Filipino
that
people will be
a
proud of.
source of national
pride.
national pride. Yung ano po, ano yung
Ano mga areas ng 53rd?
the whole
the whole Visayas. Okay.
The whole Visayas, we have 5 battalions.
Okay.
The battalion.
And they're all under you.
They are
Okay. Para lang malaman.
They are organic units of the 53rd Engineer Brigade.
Aha.
And at the same time, they are under operation of the relationship of the maneuver units, especially the divisions. They are under the operational control of the divisions,
Aha.
infantry divisions. But they are organic to the 53rd Engineer Brigade.
So you're tasked
unit.
to travel and be
Yes,
going
sir.
to the different battalions.
Yes, sir.
Aha. Ang bugbog palagi siguro Leyte. Hindi ba Leyte ang palaging disaster prone?
Ngayon, ang focus military operation nasa Negros yun. So, we
Yes,
have
of course.
the 542,
Oo.
the 542 Engineer Construction Battalion,
Mhm.
which covers yung Negros and
Mhm.
Siquijor.
Mhm.
Nakabase sila ngayon sa Himamaylan, Negros
Oo.
Occidental. We also have the 552 sir sa Dingle,
Mhm.
Iloilo. And
Ano ginagawa nila? What are they doing there now?
they are providing support,
Okay.
engineer support also to military units in their specific area of
AOR,
operation.
yes.
Oo, sir.
Accomplishments, yan, gusto malaman natin because it's nice to look back and remember what are the things that we have contributed to our people.
Sir Eric, with regards to accomplishment of the 53rd Engineer Brigade, we already contributed on the whole Visayas, particularly in doing roads, bridges, school buildings.
Kayo yun, ha?
Kami po yun, sir.
Oh, okay.
Oo.
Can you give us something specific so that people can say, uy, yung bridge na yan, sila ang gumawa.
Yes, sir. Yung bridge po na lately lang namin nagawa last year is in Negros.
Okay.
That this bridge is just only
Negros
about
Oriental, no?
the Negros Occidental, sir.
Occidental ito.
It's about 70 hanging bridge.
Okay.
No? Bali, sir, itong bridge na to, ang istorya nito ay ito yung dinadaanan ng mga bata na pumunta sa eskwela na tumatawid sa ilog.
Okay.
Na minsan nagtuturok bridge sila, yung dalawang lubid doon dumadaan yung mga bata. They are very unfortunate enough na yung pagpasok nila sa school, pagka medyo malakas na yung ilog, ay hindi na pumapasok. But because of this bridge, that benefited about 400 people or communities in the area. So this is one of our project na it has a good or big impact in the localities. And right now, yung mga bata, they can now go to the school with all smile na wala nang alinlangan with their parents na hindi na nag-aalala na makakapasok na sila ng matiwasay. And then of course 3 months ago with our commander in Hinabangan Samar in coordination with the ABCBN, we constructed there 3 classroom school that benefited around 19 students.
Kayo ang gumawa nung
Kami mismo ang gumawa yun, sir.
Para malaman ng tao.
Yes, kami po mismo.
But,
Yung 546 Engineer Construction Battalion naman namin na station in Tacloban City ang gumawa doon sa school na po yun.
Future plans?
Sir, to add the statement of our operations officer,
Oo.
actually, the recent days, we've been pushing the support on the National Task Force on ending local communist movement. Our battalions has been supporting these programs of our Commander-in-Chief by supporting the infantry divisions in the respective AORs in terms of pushing the basic services, especially in the outskirts municipalities and provinces in the Visayas. During also our bloodletting, to quantify the result of our bloodletting, we've been able to produce a total of 202 bags of assorted blood types, equivalent to 97 cc of different bloods, which we've been deposited to the in coordination with the DOH.
Okay. With the last 1 minute, parting words. Let's start with you.
We would like to call on the all our Filipino people in Visayas to support the Executive Order 70 on nation building, to support the pushing of basic services in the Visayas.
As a parting words, Sir Eric, I'm calling all of our kababayan sa buong Visayas na nandito lang po ang aming 53rd Engineer Brigade with the leadership of our Commander Colonel Jocelyn Badarlipe, na handa pong maglingkod ano man pong oras, 24/7. Kahit bumabagyo, nandyan po kami para maglingkod sa inyo.
Yan. Ikaw dapat ang mag-spokesman yata. si Jocelyn Badarlipe naman yan.
We will just inform the public that we will be celebrating our 34 years or 34th founding anniversary on 24 August. Actually, the exact date of our anniversary is August 26, but we will be celebrating it on August 24th. And having surpassed the 34 years, you can tell that indeed the 53rd Engineer Brigade has accomplished so much in all areas of its mandate, in national development, national development projects of the government, on base development, in providing assistance in humanitarian and disaster response, and also in providing combat engineer support in the rehabilitation of Marawi. Your engineers or military engineers, specifically the 53rd Engineer Brigade, is here to support the government and of course the CENTCOM in the implementation of its campaign plan. So we are here as the ally of the government for national development, and anytime you can call and ask for assistance and support to the community. Thank you very much.
Well, we'd like to thank, of course, the commanding officer of the 53rd Engineer Brigade of the Philippine Army, Colonel Jocelyn Reyes Badarlipe, and of course, let's not forget Lieutenant Colonel Demides P. Balino, who is the operations officer, and Major Jonathan Diaz Nara, who is the CMO and spokesperson. They're not just protecting the country, they're building it with their hands and their talents for a better Philippines, so to speak. So, happy anniversary to all of you. At dyan po nagwawakas ang ating programa. Huwag na tayo panahon karon. Ito po si Eric ESPINA, palagi po nagsasabi, magmasid, makialam, higit sa lahat ay manindigan, dahil wala pong magmamahal sa Pilipino kung hindi ang Pilipino. Daghang salamat, maayong gabi kaninyong tanan.